Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is GITA AULIA PRATIWI. My student number is A1B218070. Today, I would like to present my thesis presentations entitled EFL Student Teachers Challenges and Strategies in Integrating Technology During Teaching Practice. I would like to thank for the opportunities that already have given to me to deliver my thesis presentation. Alright, we go to the first chapter. It is Introduction. Background of this study. The first is the use of technology is essential in the learning and teaching process. And also the technology must be a foundation in the education program from Ken and Gills 2017. The knowledge of the use of technology is a must for EFL foreign language teacher in many teaching practice programs. And then, the pre-service teacher should acquire skill and competence of using ICT in classroom and apply them in the pre-service education and professional life. And making the situation worse, many EFL student teachers had some challenges and failed to integrating technology, especially in teaching English during their teaching practice program. And it is found by the several previous study that related to the challenges in integrating technology. And then, from the background of the study and the research question, the purpose of this research are to investigate the challenges that EFL student teachers face in integrating technology during teaching practice. And also, the researcher also wants to more dig deeper in depth and explore the strategies that EFL student teachers used in integrating technology during teaching practice. And next, the definition of key terms. There are 5 points. The first is the challenges, and then the strategies, integrating technology, EFL student teacher, and the last is teaching practice. Alright, we go to the next chapter. It is a review of literature. In the review of literature, in this research, there are 7 points. The first points, 7 points. The first is the definition of technology, and the second, technology integration in learning process. The third is technology in EFL classroom, and the fourth, TPEC framework. And next, the challenges and barriers in integration of technology in pre-service teacher, and then the strategies to overcome the challenges in integrating technology. And then there are 8 previous study as a benchmark of this study. Alright, we go to the methodology in chapter 3. The first is design. This study used a qualitative method from Creswell 2009 and using case study approach. And the research site in this research at English department at one university in Jambi city. And the participant of this study were EFL student teacher in 7 semester that have been complete teaching practice in batch 2021. And for technique sampling, the researcher used propositive sampling by using criteria. And next, for the data collection and instrument, the researcher only used interview and semi-structured interview. And for the data analysis, the researcher used thematic analysis from Brown and Clark 2012. And the last, trustworthiness, the researcher used member checking to make sure the data is valid. Alright, we go to the chapter 4 that consists of finding and discussion. After the researcher conducting the interview section, the total of the number of the participants in this research were 8 EFL student teacher that have been complete their teaching practice. And in interview section, the researcher also include the demographic background was useful for knowing the background of the participants that consists of name, the participants that have already discussed, and then the gender, GPA, ICT score, and then the integrating technology during teaching practice and whether they're familiar with technology or not. Okay, we go to the research finding. After the researcher obtained the data, the researcher found the themes and the sub-themes in challenges and strategies. The first in the challenges, there are two related themes. The first is external factors, which have several sub-theme. The first is inadequate facility. The second is the complexity process and the use of technology, lack of administrative support, lack of technician, lack of time, lack of technological training, and two emerging themes such as student issues in integrating technology and technology limitation. And then strategy to solve the challenges. There are three themes. The first is managing resources and classroom activities. The first is using alternative ways, changing the teaching method, using peer support, and managing the suitable time. And then the self-reflection. The first is self-learning, previewing the technology, and identifying comprehensive media with creating interactive media. Alright, in research discussion, the researcher have answered the research question: what are the challenges that the participant face in integrating technology during teaching practice? And there are two themes, and the researcher classified the themes used Artmer theory about first and second order barrier. External factors as the first order barriers have 8 sub-themes. The first is inadequate facility, that 6 participants had these challenges, and then complexity process and the use of technology for participants, lack of administrative support for participants, lack of technician to participants, lack of time 1 participant, lack of technological training 1 participant, and student issue in integrating technology for participants and technology limitation 1 participant. In internal factors, lack of competence and self-efficacy to participants, and collaborating technology with pedagogy and content knowledge 1 participant. And for strategies, the researcher have answered the research question: how do EFL student teachers solve the challenges in integrating technology during teaching practice? And there are 3 themes. The first is managing resources and classroom activities. And first is using alternative way to 3 participants, changing the teaching method 2 participants, using peer support 1 participant, managing the suitable time 1 participant. And then the next tips is self-reflection. In self-learning, 1 participant, previewing the technology to participant. And the last theme, identifying comprehensive media, in creating interactive media to participants. Alright, we go to the last chapter. It is chapter 5 that consists of conclusion and suggestion. After the researcher conduct the interview and found several themes and sub-themes that related to the challenges and strategies, the researcher conclude that the challenges most felt by participants were challenges related to external factors, which inadequate facility as the challenges that the participants most reportedly. Besides, in internal factors, the participants mentioned lack of competence and self-efficacy also as their challenges which encountered in their practice. And the finding, consistent with the Artmer theory in 1999, which explained first order barrier is most commonly reported and second order barriers is a barriers which more personal. And then the study also revealed the challenges that the participant face have a close relationship. As found in the background of the participant, the majority of the participants have a high interest and sufficient competence in using effective teaching using technology or TPEC. And judging from the challenges that encountered by the participants, it was most report that first order barriers is the most complained about, and this made the environment and support or first order barrier influence the integration of technology, even though they have the competence and desire to integrate technology, because it will not run smoothly without the support of the technology itself or support from teacher and students, even the facility itself. And this is the challenges can hinder the integration of technology in the classroom in teaching practice program that faced by EFL student teachers. And then the majority of the participants mentioned the alternative way as the strategy that they use in managing research and classroom activities. Alright, the last is suggestion. Based on the findings that have been found, the researcher provides several suggestions for the problems and obstacles that arise when the researcher made this thesis. And there are several suggestions that the researcher can convey. The first is for schools, university, and teaching practice units. The researcher expects that it have an improvement in terms of training or instruction in integrating various technologies when teaching in teaching practice programs. And for school, it is expected to maximize the integration and the use of technology in the scope of learning. Most importantly, facilitating technology is the most crucial thing that must be considered and expected to be maximized. And the second, for teachers and lecturers, it is expected to be able to provide maximum support for integration of technology during teaching. And the last, for future research, the researcher expects that the further research can use more than one instrument or data collection to further explore that related problems. It is because the constraint of cost and energy that the researcher face in collecting data. I think that's enough for my thesis presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.